Great morning, 7:35 in the morning here. I just woke up and saw that Putin has a thing on TV where he says they're not going to storm where these Ukrainian soldiers are at this steel plant. No sense for our people to, our soldiers to die. And so, my question is it getting out to the Russians? Because remember, Putin was saying, oh no, that none of our people are dying. It's all good. We're just, but now he's on TV saying about soldiers dying. We're not going to storm there. Now, either he plans on storming it and he's just trying to cause a diversion, or my question is this getting out to the Russian people that the soldiers are dying there? And it's not what he said, that we're liberators and they're welcoming us and all this other nonsense that he said. So I'm going to look at that real quick. Is it getting out to the Russian people that it's not all, light and they're not being welcomed? They're not throwing flowers at them, welcoming them in as great liberators. Okay. So at the center of it, we have, this is up in the air and it's being juggled. The happenings that are taking place there. The actions. Now he's got to figure out the exchange that's going on with this. The losses, the gains, the losses. This is out in the cold. He's out in the cold with this. May 9th is coming, and I guess that's supposed to be a really important day. It's supposed to be done by then. He needs to have some sort of wind that he can put in there. And but he is out in the cold on this all the way. And so he is trying. Well, we'll see what the rest of the cards say. What's he going to do with this? Okay. Now, this is usually my card for American values, but it's also my card for Mother Russia. So Russia is watching. The challenge is, his gangbusters going forward, that it's not what he said. They are not the great liberators. Okay. In the past, we have that who he's working with and how he could cajole the people, how he could, bamboozle them. But the truth is starting to come out. Okay. So it looks like, yes, truth is starting to come out. Underneath of it, we have emotions are starting to appear and talking about, stinky fish things that they're doing, that he's just been over there, slice and dice, deaths that are happening, and the angst, the anxiety that people are feeling with it. Of concern is the abuses of power, and that this is starting to get out, that his delusion is getting out. Okay, his lies are getting out, and that's going to come to an end. So it looks like it's starting to get out to the Russian people what's taking place. That it's not what they've been fed in the propaganda system, that we're liberators and it's all the Ukrainians that are dying. It's the Ukrainians that are doing this. Our Russian soldiers are all fine. Nothing to worry about. But today he said, we're not going to storm the steel Steel place because no sense that our soldiers should die with that. Well, this is the first time he's admitted the soldiers are dying, okay? So it is not looking good for that. So let's see what about the May 9th thing. What about May 9th? What is his concern with May 9th? He wanted to show that they liberated it, that they've taken it over, and now Ukraine is part of Russia again, and on May 9th. So what about the May 9th? Charging forward. This is something, you know, again, that he said he was going to do. Above it, actions, new actions. And the foundation is the past. Yeah. This is asking about the past, the actions he's taken, the things he's continuing to do, because he wanted to have that May 9th victory. It's about strength. The challenge is the new information coming out, okay? That they're talking about it, about what's going on there. Okay. In the past, you know, he was looking good and was able to put all this stuff out to the people of Russia. And they saw him as the great leader, the great, all the money. But truth is coming out. Yeah. The problem is, though, that the truth is coming out. So underneath of it all, we have the actions that are taking place that he continues to do with the Russians. Absolutely worried about the sleepless nights now. Again, he's not listening to anyone, and this is an endpoint for him when it comes to May 9th. It's not going to happen. He doesn't have a victory. Of concern now, he's burdened of the actions that are taking place. He can't get out of it now. He's looking for any type of an opportunity, starting opportunity. He's hung up, and people are going to see it from a different view, and he's still in the struggle, but tied up. Okay, tied up, and he's just trying to keep a lid on things. But we have here the wheel, karma. Things are playing out. The wheel is turning, and he is not going to have his May 9th victory. He is not getting his May 9th victory, and he is up sleepless now with this. Not looking good. So we're going to look at one other thing here, trying to get cards in here. You know, I don't put them all in as a group. I put them in different places to make sure that they're in a real good ruffle shuffle there. So I wanted to look at the last thing. He's again putting out this thing about, oh, I'm doing the Satan missile here, and I can put a nuclear warhead on it, West. You better back out. You better, you know, he's doing his threats again. So what about his threats? What about Putin's threats of the nuclear thing? Now, like I said, it's not going to happen. The higher-ups in Russia would take him out before that happens. They would not follow through on that order because then they would be culpable as well. And they're leaving this all in Putin's hands at the end. So let's see what about his thing with the missile. Yeah, he wants to give the impression that he's flush. Okay, he's flush. Retreat, trying to want them to retreat, and he's out in the cold. Okay, he's out in the cold. It's a bluff. This is about his bluff. Okay, going into it, trying to manipulate the situation. Oh, what a surprise. Challenge is his path forward. This is what he's chosen to walk. Okay, and now he's come to a cliff. Oh, fool of fools. And you know, in the past he's been suffering, you know, really getting beat up with that. He's taking the hits, taking the blows. Okay, and the outcome, he's tied up, so he's going to try to bully his way, as usual. Underneath of it, working, trying to figure out how he's going to manage this stuff he's gotten himself into, the actions, all the losses he's facing. He's trying to figure out what he can, you know, what he's got in reserves. And of course, it's against, you know, the U.S. and the things that they are, the experts and things they're calling in. Of concern is the U.S., but also Russia and his standing, you know, and trying to get some sort of a victory. But we're looking at the exchanges happening, and it's not good for him, as usual. So, yeah, it's what I said. It's a bluff. It's his thing. He's a cornered animal, and he just feels like this little toad. Have you seen those little toads that when... I don't know if you've ever seen that video, but they got that little bitty toad, just a little minuscule guy, and he comes over and he puffs himself up, and this is what he reminds me of, this little toad that is cornered, and he puffs himself up like, don't mess with me, I'm tough, I'm big, you know. It reminds me of that. So I just see Putin as the little bitty toad that's got himself cornered and is now puffing himself up and saying, well, I've got a nuclear missile, you better back off, I'm going to use it, you know. But yeah, it's his, yeah. He would be, they would not follow through on that order, though. They would take him out because they know that if they shot off a nuclear missile, that there would be a nuclear missile coming back. Okay. If they think there would be no retaliation with that, they know better. And so, yeah, no, this is Putin's little toad moment. Back off. But yeah, no, not going to happen. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Much love and light. See you online.